Alright, what's up everybody, it's Sam from Zrada Maybe Bet. In this video I'll be doing my card predictions for UFC on ESPN 35, Font versus Vera. As always, let's start off reviewing how the last event was. So in UFC Fight 9 205, I bet 3 units of my money. It came back 1.96, so I lost nearly 1 unit. It gave me a loss of 35%. But rounding out the year, and at the beginning of the year I was not tracking too well, so from February or one event in January, let's say I got 16 units, 16.8 units. So if I'm counting from 1,000, my bank it's up this amount, right? 16%, right? So before getting into the card itself, so I don't put everything that I do on this video, guys. The reason is I try to save time. Obviously, time is precious, and I do my best with the time that I have. But I just wanted to show you guys, for example, I put some comments here. I got bets in for Bellator 279. So I posted this, I think it was the day itself, the event, or the day before, I don't quite remember. So basically almost all the dogs that I bet cashed. Patch Mix, it was my biggest bet, right? I said it here, great value. I think he wins. Medeiros cashed. Kamaka lost a split decision. Kish also cashed. Then I had a long shot on Dong, on Ainoa Dong. I knew that Gibson is talented and dangerous, but still I put a bet here. But just to show you guys that there are some of these posts I make. So by joining the Patreon, you can have access to this. Obviously, you can chat with me as some people do, right? And stick until the end if you want to hear more about the Patreon. I'll show you guys in the end. Okay, so let's real quick get to this card. And as always, guys, I'm not going to be extending too much my analysis on the fights that I'm not going to be betting. So, but I will just run through this one real quick, so you guys know who I'm picking. Between Gabe Green and Johan Lainez, I'm picking Green and not betting. Grant Dawson and Jared Gordon. Picking Dawson, got him in an early market. Yeah. Daniel Arcerda versus Francisco Figueiredo. Don't remember who I'm picking here. I don't even remember who I'm picking. I think I'm picking Figueiredo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think Figueiredo. And not betting. Chris Yotko and Gerald Mearshart. I'm picking Yotko but not betting. Tatsuro Taira versus Carlos Candelaro. Picking Taira but betting Candelaro. A tiny bet, half unit only. Gina Mazzani versus Shayna Young. I'm picking Mazzani not betting. Darren Elkins versus Tristan Connelly. I'm picking Elkins but not betting. Rob Font and Marlon Vera. I'm picking Font but not betting. And Andre Fili and Joe Anderson Brito. My biggest bet on Brito, 1.5 units. I'm picking and betting him. Alright, so the props, guys, I don't put it here. Again, if you want to know the props that I'm taking, I'll talk about that in the end, okay? It's part of the Patreon. So let's go into the breakdowns. Between Gabe Green and Johan Lainez, guys, the only reason I'm not betting Green is that I was very tempted to do it, and he opened as a pick'em. Afterwards, he's a strong favorite, so probably people know, I don't know, people who are betting know more of the potential of Green. I didn't bet it because I couldn't see much on Lainez. All I saw was basically a big guy in there swinging heavily. It's a quite well-rounded game, but I couldn't judge much, right? So I also saw Lainez a little bit over-aggressive at times, so I don't like that much. I think people can start getting caught when that happens. Green is more composed, but also Green doesn't have the best strategy, the best execution in the cage. So, and Lainez is bigger, seems to have more power. So I ended up passing, but I'm picking Green here. Not much to analyze. I just think that probably Lainez is gonna swing. If he doesn't put Green away, he's probably gonna guess, and Green gonna take over this fight, right? So that's my analysis. Don't have much more than that. Let's hear Taira versus Carlos Candelaro. This is another interesting one. Taira, very composed, very big flyweight here, right? He's tall, he's long, and he's super young, 22. One of those guys that probably has always been a martial artist, has clean technique everywhere, sharp on the feet, good, takedown game. Haven't seen much holes in his game, to be honest, right? But he's very young, 22 only, and he's making his debut. It's always a factor. Carlos Candelaro, he's not the most talented fighter, not as talented as Taira, but he's a tough guy. He has a good wrestling game, likes to impose it, hold the top position, also not afraid to throw down. Basically, I'm betting Candelaro here as Taira is, I think that Tyra being so young, obviously there is that cardio and speed and athleticism and everything. But I'm afraid I'm feeling like Tyra could have jitters, and if Candelario being a tough guy pushing the pace, he could win. So I'm not crazy on Candelario. Like I said, told you guys it's a small bet, but I think that the value is on Candelario. I'm also interested in betting Candelario by decision as a big underdog, as a plus 200 dog. I hope it takes him at plus 350, something like this as decision. So some value there too. But rather than that, I think Tyra should be able to win this. Basically comfortably, right? But I'm not sure he's going to perform at his best because of the debut, right? Gonna Pinheiro versus Jessica Penne. By the way, this is not there in the spreadsheet. My pick is Pinheiro here. Not going to break down much because I'm not betting this one. Basically, Penne is a grappler, right? She's not the best on the feet. She's also now 38, so no longer the best reflexes. But she's still game. She's there. She knows what she has to do. She has a good strategy. I'm not betting Pinheiro here, another Penne, because I don't trust much Penne winning fights, especially against Pinheiro, who is a good judoka, very explosive, very tough girl, likes to push the pace. But I'm still not convinced on Pinheiro. I think that she could, get emotional in this fight, start swinging gas and losing a boring decision to Penne. No, I don't think Penne finishes Pinheiro. It's also not impossible. Penne is a good grappler, good submission game. But rather than that, I think Pinheiro should be able to win this decisively. She has much more chances for the knockout as well. But the safest pick would be Pinheiro by decision, in my opinion. She fights smart. She's going to stuff the takedowns, but not going to engage much in the grappling. Going to probably land heavier on the feet, but not able to put Penne out, right? So I think this would be a smart approach for Pinheiro, but I'm still not convinced. Gina Mazany and Shayna Young, another interesting one. It's pretty easy to break down. Mazany is a very physical girl, likes to get inside and push a grappling match. Shayna Young, more of a striker. She's not a bad grappler too, but more like a 1-2 fighter with a head kick. Shayna Young. The interesting fact here is that Young is coming down a weight class, and I think she's gonna be very physical there too. So probably she'll match Mazany's strengths. We'll see about that. Mazany under a better camp. She's more consistent in there, more experience, even though she lost more. I think she's the more consistent in there. I'm not that convinced she's gonna be a dominant performance. I have her as minus 130 with Young plus 120. So the line is very close to what I have to. I don't like much betting when this happens. And could be chaotic, again, Young coming down weight class, but she could get control if she doesn't cut the weight right. She could guess. And Mazany has not a good chin. So Young has a chance for the knockout if they start, engaging and brawling. So very tricky to me. For me, I'm not going to want to bet this fight, right? But my pick is Mazany by decision. Maybe Mazany by decision is not a bad idea because I don't think she finishes Young. Young has more chance for the finish, so maybe Mazany by decision is not bad. But to me, it has to be at a decent price like I'm putting here. Christophe Yotko and Gerald Meerschaert. Also not difficult to break down. Yotko, basically an okay fighter on the feet, right? Can have his way around, good volume, keeps pushing, very experienced, right? Also not a bad grappler, likes to use the clinch. If he can take to the ground, he does. He's fighting Meerschaert here, who is a submission specialist. Also not bad anywhere, pretty decent technique everywhere. His problem, everybody knows. Everybody knows it's the athleticism, the power, the lack of speed. So he's pretty slow in there, methodic, but the man wins fight, as we have seen. Man, I don't think Meerschaert submits Yotko, but I think he has a chance by decision, especially, right? I ended up picking Yotko. I think he can, being faster, more athletic, he can just score from the outside, whereas Meerschaert miss more. But I do see Meerschaert being able to get his shots in, eventually, and also grappling, clinching with Yotko. So to me, Meerschaert also has a chance. I'm interested to betting Meerschaert by decision from plus 200. I think this line would be really interesting. I think this line probably going to open up even better. Maybe Meerschaert plus 250. I think it's value in there, but fight for the distance as well. This is very likely going this distance. Okay, because I don't think Yotko could finish Meerschaert by strikes, but I don't think likely. And the opposite way, also Meerschaert can finish Yotko by submission, but I also don't think likely. So this is likely going decision. probably the best bet there, or Mershart by decision as an underdog. Daniel Lacerda and Francisco Figueiredo. So yeah, I'm picking Figueiredo here. I was confused. To me, basically a 50-50 fight. Figueiredo more like a sniper as he is, but he's pretty good, sharp on the feet, good takedown defense, good grappling game. Lacerda, he's more like a kicker on the outside. The man has, he's young. I think he's younger here, right? Yeah, 25, whereas Figueiredo is 32. So he has good kicks. Also, he has a good grappler. Probably he's a BJJ black belt himself, right? But to me, Lacerda is yet to find his best style there. He tends to start fast, and I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Fighting a guy like Figueiredo solid, picking him up if he's gonna be able to keep that pace. I'm rewarding consistency a little bit more here. I think Figueiredo, training with his brother, the good camp and etc. He probably has more chances, but obviously Lacerda has chances too. Young, aggressive, good everywhere, hard hitter. So basically, to me, it's also a pick him and end up going Figueiredo. So I think he should be able to neutralize Lacerda basically. But a tricky one also to bet. Maybe Figueiredo by decision as I'm putting here, as Lacerda is very tough, and I think Figueiredo wouldn't want to risk much against Lacerda. So yeah, maybe Figueiredo by decision gonna be my only bet. But again, depends on the price that I can find. Darren Elkins versus Tristan Connelly. Don't know how to pronounce there. So Elkins, throughout the years proved himself being a tough guy, can do a little bit of everything at his best when he's pushing the pace and enforcing the grappling. Can say the same thing about Connelly, even though he's not that experienced. I think, but he's a good grappler. He's a big featherweight. Both of these guys, Connelly, I think he's 5'11". He doesn't look like to be a big one, but he's very lean in there, which is always interesting because those guys always bring sharp conditioning and good cardio. Connelly is also fresher on his career, and since he's technical on the ground and it matches Elkins' technical ability, that gives Connelly some chance to win this fight, right? But Elkins probably is the better wrestler of the two, so that's why I'm picking Elkins here. But the problem that I have, and I was very tempted to bet in Elkins, but I didn't quite put in there because Elkins, he wears damage, and Connelly, he's not the best striker, but he could even land on Elkins and open up some cut, right? And Connelly also gonna try to impose the grappling, so could be a grappling match, right? So Connelly has some chances in my opinion, but probably I'm feeling like I should have bet Elkins when it was like minus 130, minus 135, right? But maybe Elkins by decision, not a bad idea. Maybe Connelly by decision too, because this is also likely going the distance, guys. I don't think they finish each other. So it could be close in that regard in a grappling match, right? But I'm picking Elkins by decision. Grant Dawson, Jared Gordon. This I'm betting Dawson here. It's pretty simple to break down. This one is basically, can Grant Dawson impose his grappling game? I think he can, and here's wrong, guys. So it's Dawson by decision, and everything else I'm gonna comment here. So it's pretty simple, Dawson's not the best striker, neither is Gordon. Gordon is more aggressive, moving forward he's better, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop Dawson coming forward and imposing the grappling. Gordon is a good wrestler and whatnot, but there's a difference in physical strength in my opinion, so I think Dawson imposes that. If you like Gordon, obviously, you think that he's going to be able to stop the takedowns and turn the tables around on Dawson. Not impossible. Gordon did that before, but I think in this case, I'm going to be rewarding Dawson physical strength here a little bit more, especially because they both fought in the featherweight. So Gordon is also not the biggest lightweight. I think he's 5'8", whereas Dawson's 5'9", isn't it? But Dawson a little bit bigger and stronger in my opinion. Andre Fili versus Joe Anderson Brito. This is an interesting one. So how do I see this one, guys? Fili is probably the better striker of the two. He's good pumping the jabs, throwing, those long hooks, those very long arms that he has, generates good power. Also, he tries to time some leg kicks, but to me, the Fili's problem is the legs. If you look at his legs, he has really, underdeveloped legs, and just a genetic thing. I'm sure that he trains very hard, but it's a genetic thing. Plus, he's not the best with the takedown defense. From his back, he's okay, but he's not going to want to grapple with Brito. He's probably going to have to escape. So to me, Brito has more chances to take the front foot. Brito is over aggressive, which I don't like much, as I said before, but I've seen this guy pushing hard pace for 3 rounds, right? He's still 28, so he's in his physical prime. I don't think he's going to slow down, at least at this point. And the man's throw heat, tubarão, if you don't know, it translates as shark in Portuguese. So the man is just that. He goes hard and he's all front foot and he swings heavily, takes top position, good grappling, heavy ground and pound, right? Goes for submission and just doesn't stop pushing, right? So Brito can slow down. Fili can pick him up afterward. There's much more experience in favor of Fili, but I'm going to be rewarding Brito here a little bit more, guys. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. And I got Brito in an early market, plus 240. To me, it is an excellent bet, regardless of the output. But still at plus 200, to me, the value is on Brito. I think he wins that. I think he wins by decision, even despite all the power and the submission pressure that I said. Fili is tough, and Fili knows. Apologize for the noise there, guys. Fili knows how to defend submissions, and it's very difficult to finish Fili, right? And this could be the downfall of Brito, trying to go for the finish too hard and just guess. So I wouldn't be surprised by that, but still I think Brito has also more chances for the finish, right? In my opinion. So let's see how this goes. To me, the value is on Brito, my biggest bet on the card. Robert Font versus Marlon Vera. Also not that difficult to break down. To me, it's going to come down to consistency of Font, keeping the strikes out there, being technical, landing like kicks, the jab, and taking top position. Vera is more talented, in my opinion. He's more dangerous, more dynamic on the feet, better kicks, more different angles. Also an excellent grappler, right? To me, Vera's problem is the aggressiveness. He doesn't quite take the front foot. Content to counter-strike, even though he's excellent there. But when the man turns up, when he sees that he's losing, he comes forward and he finishes the fight. Could happen again, but I think the most likely scenario is Font, right, by decision. I'm interested in betting fight go the distance, and especially Font by decision, right? Because I think fight go the distance may be quite expensive, right? I would take fight go the distance from plus 150, which I'm not sure I'm going to have that line, but Font by decision, I think I can get that at plus 250, and that's what I'm interested in for this one, right? So that will do it, guys. So as I said, let me comment with you guys about the Patreon. We have 2 tiers here for you guys. $10, you guys have basically access when I release early content and all the posts that I make exclusive here, right? So obviously you guys can chat with me, ask your questions, know my opinion on something. I'm always answering. I really like this, right? And I like also whenever I can help you guys, I'll give my honest opinion, agreeing with you guys, sharing the risk and whatnot. So just my head to you, right? And the exclusive posts for 10. And for 50, you guys have access to this spreadsheet. You guys can basically, have this in early. Obviously, I put this early, then I record the video so you guys know how much I'm betting. Also, I have the props in the spreadsheet, so you also wouldn't miss the props that I take, right? And as you guys saw in this card, I'm having lots of props, not so many straight bets, but lots of props, so you guys can get this benefit with the ultimate tier in here, right? So this will do for the video, guys. Thank you again for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk with you next time. Same from Roderick Bet, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.